The bloodthirsty cartel known as MS-13.
MS-13. MS-13.
Tonight I am calling on Congress to finally close the deadly loopholes that have allowed MS-13 and other criminals.
San Francisco is known for its iconic skyline, progressive values, and reputation as a safe haven for immigrants. But beneath this veneer of sanctuary and safety lies a dark reality. The very policies meant to protect have at times harbored those who exploit the system. Today we delve into a harrowing, true crime story that underscores the unintended consequences of sanctuary city policies. The case of Edwin Ramos. June 22, 2008. A day that would forever alter the lives of the Bologna family and shake San Francisco to its core. Anthony Bologna and his two sons, Michael and Matthew, were on their way home, just having an ordinary day in the city they loved. But in an instant, their lives were brutally taken by a man who should have never been there in the first place. Edwin Ramos.
The bloodthirsty cartel known as MS-13.
MS-13. MS-13.
Tonight I am calling on Congress to finally close the deadly loopholes that have allowed MS-13 and other criminals.
Edwin Ramos wasn't just any criminal. He was a known member of the notorious MS-13 gang, a violent organization responsible for countless crimes across the nation. Born in El Salvador, Ramos had a history of violence that predated his arrival in the U.S. But what's more alarming is that this wasn't his first brush with the law in San Francisco. Despite multiple run-ins with the authorities, including arrests for violent crimes, Ramos remained in the city, protected by its sanctuary policies. San Francisco's sanctuary city policy, designed to protect immigrants from deportation and foster cooperation between immigrant communities and local law enforcement, tragically failed in this case. Ramos had been arrested 3 times as a juvenile for violent crimes, yet due to the city's policy, these crimes were never reported to the immigration authorities. The loss of Anthony, Michael, and Matthew Bologna sent shockwaves through the community. Public outrage grew as more details of Ramos's past and the city's inaction came to light. The Bologna family's tragedy became a powerful example of how policies intended for good could, in some cases, lead to devastating consequences. In May 2012, Edwin Ramos was sentenced to 3 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole for the murders of Anthony, Michael, and Matthew Bologna. The courtroom was filled with a sense of justice, but also a lingering question. Could this have been prevented? The Edwin Ramos case is not just a tragic story of a family destroyed by senseless violence. It's a cautionary tale about the potential pitfalls of sanctuary city policies. While these policies are rooted in the noble goal of protecting vulnerable communities, they also raise serious questions about public safety. Can we afford to turn a blind eye to the risks posed by individuals like Ramos, who exploit the protections designed to shield them? Sanctuary cities represent a promise of safety, inclusion, and compassion. But when that promise is broken, the consequences can be catastrophic. The story of Edwin Ramos and the Bologna family serves as a stark reminder that policies must be carefully crafted, with a balance between protecting the innocent and holding the guilty accountable. We owe it to the memory of Anthony, Michael, and Matthew to learn from their story and ensure that no other family has to endure such a tragedy. This is not just a story about crime. It's a story about policy, protection, and the price we pay when the system fails.
These individuals will be resettled across the country, just like generations of newcomers throughout our history. They will have the opportunity to enrich the fabric of our nation, and I would ask all Americans to welcome them.
We are an immigrant nation. I mean, we say that, but people act like they don't believe it. We are an immigrant nation, and that is our strength.
There are those of us who will fight for you and your rights every day. My message to them is do not live in fear.
Primetime doesn't have a problem with legal immigration, but our border states have been overrun by illegal immigration. Biden put Kamala in charge, so that's how we know he's not really serious about stopping it.